Welcome guys to episode 4 of Operation Premiership with Coventry City. I'm going to start today with the injury table for ourselves. As you can see, we've had John Fleck out with a broken foot. He's missed the entire episode with this injury. Chris Hussey's missed the entire episode and the rest of the season with damaged cruciate ligaments. He's not likely to get a new deal in the summer when his deal runs out. Gary McSheffrey's missed the last few weeks with a twisted knee. Salahuddin Sabai tore his hamstring after a couple of games of this episode and he's been out ever since, and he's still got a way to come back. And Carl Baker has also suffered damaged cruciate ligaments, which is ruling him out for pretty much the whole calendar year. We also were missing in this episode Jordan Clark had a twisted ankle. He was out for a few weeks. Cyrus Christie was out with a broken arm as well. David Bell had a torn hamstring, and at one point we got to the point where we had 3 academy players in the starting lineup because we just didn't have a team to put together. So now I'm going to recap December and January, but first I'll get the transfers out of the way for you. So there's been no goings out in the January transfer window, only comings in, and a couple of these were just to cover for the rest of the season the injuries that we've had. So first of all, on the 2nd of January, straight away we delved into the free transfer market and brought in Diego Gavilan. Anyone who's followed football in the Premiership in the late 90s may have heard of him. He used to play for Newcastle United for about a season or two. There we go. He was there for 4 years. He only really played a few games for him. Came over with quite a bit of potential but never really fulfilled it over here, and then ended up going back to South America where he played for most of his career. Found him on a free transfer, and he's not a great player, but he is going to be able to provide backup and sometimes going to be starting. So he's a decent player and I think he can do a job for us. He's also on a cheap wage, so I wasn't too bothered about bringing him in. Herita Ilunga needed a left back desperately with Sabai out injured and Chris Hussey, the backup, out injured. I needed a left back, and this man's got bags of experience. Again, he's a decent player. He's got very good physical stats. He's got decent stats in the key areas for a defender, and again a cheap wage to bring him in on. I was pretty happy with this. He is 30 years old. It is only a deal till the end of the season, but he's got a lot of experience with West Ham in the Premiership. He was with Doncaster last season. He's played in the top leagues elsewhere in France and so on. So he's a very good player to bring in as a first team replacement. Then probably the big one of the window, David McGoldrick in from Forest. After his loan deal expired on New Year's Day, I managed to get him in for £45,000 plus a bit of his next transfer fee to Forest. The stumbling block was he was on £4,000 a week at Forest, and this was the most that Coventry would let me offer him. And in the end, by offering him a large signing on fee, he took £2,700 a week, which was really, really good. Now, if you look at his stats with us for the first half of the season, 4 goals in 24 games, not that great, but his average rating was pretty decent, so he was obviously doing something right. And since he came back, 5 games, 2 goals, 7.24 average rating, he's been playing pretty well. And I think that £45,000 could turn out to be a bargain once he gets going. I think it was just more about getting him settled than anything. But yeah, very good signing. I'm pretty pleased with that. And then the last one was midway through the month. Anyone who knows the young players in England will know this man, James Ward-Prowse from Southampton. He's supposed to be an absolute gem of the future for English football. And I've got him in on the season-long loan. He isn't. I don't think I'm paying much. No, just paying £400 a week of his contract. So he's not costing me a lot either. And he's made a good start. 3 appearances. He's already scored once, and he's got a 7.5 average rating. So he's playing pretty well as well. And just one other transfer of note. A free transfer coming at the end of the season from Motherwell, Stephen Hetherington. This man comes with a very good report, scouting report as a Premiership midfielder in the future. We'll have to see if he can fulfil that. He should at least be a Championship though, but as you can see his stats are pretty good already, and he's only 19. He is English as well, gone over to Motherwell to obviously try and make it. and we're bringing him back over to England. Hopefully he will be playing with us in the Championship next season if we can make it up. But yeah, very good player, and I'm pretty pleased to get him in as well. So let's get to the fixtures for December and January. Now, as I said, I was suffering majorly with injuries. So the last time you were with us was the Chesterfield live com in the Johnston Paint Trophy. We then suffered injury after injury, and we went on a really bad run. First game we played was Stevenage at home in the league, and we got beaten 2-0, and they dominated us on this day. If you look at the possession, they had more of it. They had tons more chances than us, and Joe Keenan eventually gave them the lead after 52 minutes before Darius Charles made it 12 minutes later, before David McGoldrick missed a penalty 12 minutes from time. But really, if we got anything out of it, we would have absolutely robbed them blind. So they deserved the 3 points on the day, definitely. Then we went away to Preston. This was going to be a tough game. They were just hitting some form, and we got beaten 2-1. Stuart Beavan, after 20 minutes for them, put them in front. Then Steve Jennings got sent off 18 minutes from time, which really condemned us when we were chasing the game. Joe Murphy's own goal then gave them a 2-0 lead 3 minutes later. 4 minutes later, Sabai suffered that torn hamstring, which ruled him out for the rest of the episode, before Carl Baker got a consolation 2 minutes from time. To be honest, we had more possession, we had more shots at goal as well, but we just didn't make our shots tell. And Preston took theirs and got the 3 points on the day. We needed to get out of the stop the run of defeats before it got a problem. We went away to Scunthorpe, and I was pretty pleased with a 1-1 draw. Adam Barton getting our goal. They took the lead through Laurie Dalla Valle just before half time after Matt Derbyshire had missed a penalty. But 8 minutes from time, Barton struck to give us the draw at 1-1. Pretty even game. We probably didn't have as many shots as them, but we'd take the draw. And this was the first game. Joe Pegg, Lewis Rankin and Ryan Quinn, all under 18s. They're all about 16, 17 years old, making their debuts for the club, because the players were that tired from midweek games or injured. We just didn't have a team to put out. We then travelled to MK Dons and we picked up a 0-0 draw, and I was pretty pleased with this because again we had an inexperienced squad out there. Frank Musa suffered an injury after 62 minutes. It wasn't serious, thank God. It was a pretty even game on the possession. We had more chances than them. I was really surprised at that. We created a lot more chances than them but didn't take them. But if you'd given me a point at the start of the game, I would have taken it. We then played Swindon at home, and I knew this was going to be a tough one. They always are a dodgy side, and with me being a very weak side out, they were always going to cause us problems. Gary Roberts gave them the lead after 6 minutes before Carl Baker equalised just 6 minutes later. Federico Bassoni went off injured for them just before half time, but Matt Ritchie just before the hour mark gave them a 2-1 lead, and that's how it finished. They held on. We did have more shots at goal than them, but again we've only had the same on target, so we weren't making those shots tell. Possession was even, and I wasn't really expecting much from the game, so a 2-1 defeat didn't surprise me. We then played away at Yeovil at Hewish Park, and I needed a win in this one. They were one of the weak sides in the league, down in the relegation zone, and I was desperate for it. And Leroy Lita used this for his return to form. Leroy Lita scoring after 3 minutes and 59 minutes, giving us a 2-0 lead before Byron Webster made it a little bit awkward for us with 18 minutes to go, making it 2-1. But we held on and got the 3 points. We dominated the shots, as you can see, and the possession, made it tell and got 3 points, so I was pleased with that one. We then played Bournemouth at home New Year's Day before we could strengthen the squad, and they outplayed us completely. Frank Demouge after 32 minutes getting the first, then Ewan O'Kane 10 minutes later making it 2-0 before Leroy Lita with his third in 2 games, just over 20 minutes from time, getting us back into it. But we couldn't, however much I pushed, just couldn't get a shot of any meaningful on goal. As you can see, we had more shots on target than them. They only had 2 on target in the game. We conceded 2. They had more possession by far. They probably deserved it, but I'm disappointed that they only scored 2 from 2 on target. We then played Tranmere in the JPT North semi-final at home, and I was desperate to get through this just to get some money in, and it was looking bad when McGurk gave them the lead after 11 minutes, and it took us till 12 minutes from time to equalise through David McGoldrick. But literally straight from kick-off, within the same minute McGoldrick scored, Tranmere kicked off, launched it forward, and McGurk put it away to put Tranmere straight back in front. And I went overload. I brought Cody McDonald on for Leroy Lita, and McDonald repaid me brilliantly with a goal in the 89th minute to make it 2-2, and it went to a penalty shootout straight after 90 minutes in the JPT. Now, as you see, we dominated the 90 minutes. We played a better possession, more shots. They'd hardly had a shot on goal apart from their 2 shots on target again being scored. That's another problem. They took the first penalty. Stockton scored. McDonald scored for us. Power for them. Baker for us. Then McGurk missed before McGoldrick scored. And then because Black missed, McSheffrey, the Coventry City local boy, had the chance to put us through, and he put the penalty away to send us into the Northern final, where we face Rochdale. It's our game after the live com today against Sheffield United. We've got the 2 legs there for a place at Wembley. Rochdale in League 2 currently, so should be a winnable tie definitely. We then faced Doncaster at home, and I was really pleased with the start. McGoldrick, on his first league game since his permanent signing, scored after 18 minutes. But then Billy Painter straight after half time made it 1-1. 5 minutes later, Chris Brown put them 2-1 in front, and we lost it 2-1. I was really disappointed because we were in the game the whole time. I was pushing for it, but look at the shots we had. We had just 7 in the game at home, whereas they had 14 and 5 on target. They were just testing our goal so much more, and it shows that if you shoot, you've got a chance of scoring. You're never going to score if you don't take a shot. So disappointed with that. But then away against Bury in the relegation zone, we've really bounced back here. Once we got back to real full fitness, we had a proper team out for the first time in a long time, and we got a big win. Richard Wood put us ahead after 21 minutes, but the lead only lasted 7 minutes before Andy Welsh equalised for Bury. But then Leroy Lita after 41, and then 6 minutes after half time getting a brace. That's his 5th goal in, I think, 4 league games, so really on fire he is, putting us 3-1 up, that did. Then Schumacher got sent off for a second yellow for them, before Ward Prowse after 72, and Frank Musa after 81 put us 5-1 up. They did get a last minute consolation penalty through Elford Aliou, but no mark on the result really. We completely dominated the game and deserved the 3 points. This was the game when McSheffrey suffered his injury. They also lost David Healy to injury early on in the match, but you can't really blame it on that. Then we played Notts County away in the league, and these were second in the table, so this was a big game, and we won it 1-0. Leroy Lita banging in another goal after 21 minutes to give us the lead, and we held on all the way through. It was a real battling performance. We retained the possession to make sure that they couldn't do much. Now, both teams only managed 2 shots on target each in the whole game, despite having 27 shots between them. So the finishing was poor today, but we managed to get the 3 points, and that's all that matters to me. And then we followed that up with a game at home to Oldham, which we won 1-0. So I was pretty pleased with this. And look at that man again, Leroy Lita. He's in a real rich vein of form in this January month, scoring after 27 minutes. We held on, but as you can see, how it wasn't more, I don't know. They've managed 5 shots and 2 on target with 41% of possession. We've had 59% of the possession, 23 shots, but only 6 on target. I'm sure if we got more on target, we would have absolutely battered them today. But a 1-0 win is still 3 points, so I'll give you a quick look at the league table before today's match. We are 4th. We do have a game in hand on Crawley in 3rd. If we win, we'll go ahead of them. We could go up to 2nd with a win today if Tranmere lose. And we will also, if we win, we will only be 4 points off Sheffield United at the top. Now, had we not had this injury crisis, we'd had a few extra points. We'd probably be in the top 2 at the moment, but we've had to deal with that injury crisis. We did fall right outside the playoffs at one point, and now we've with these recent wins we've bounced right back up, so let's hope we can get a win in today's match. So the teams for today are, in goal for us Murphy, then at the back four is Clark, Wood, Edgingwaley and Ilunga. In midfield, Gavilan, Jennings, Ward-Prowse and Musa, with McGoldrick playing in the hole just behind Leroy Lita. Let's hope he can carry on his form today. For them it's Steer in goal, McMahon, Collins, Rocha and Hill at the back. Flynn, McDonald, Maguire and Mackie in the middle, with Blackman and Kitson up front. That's a decent strike partnership. No wonder they are at the top of the table. So it's got a draw written all over it according to BBC Coventry and Warwickshire. Sabai and Michael Doyle, next City player, missing for them today. So we'll leave it at that. I'll put my start instructions on, which is just to retain the possession whilst I keep an eye on the game to see how it's going, so I can try and decide what to do next. So it's decent team talk, a lot of greens there, so let's get going on this game. I'll just put it onto 2D, because I don't think 3D will work very well. So Sheffield United to get underway, and it's Blackman to Kitson, back to Collins, Maguire, and that's a pointless highlight. So 5 minutes in, now 10 minutes, and it's been a slow start. It's not a highlight of note really. We're getting quite a way through the first half without there being one. And to be honest, I would take a draw against Sheffield United today. Anything to stop them winning. Musa with the corner in. Wood heads it, and Richard Wood at the near post gives us a lead just under the 22-minute mark. And we have the lead at home to Sheffield United, who are top of the league. There we go, Leroy Lita's picked up a knot. It's bad news, but here we are again. It's McGoldrick into the box down the right hand side. He's crossed it in. It's come off McMahon. Oh, it's a corner. We scored the last one. Musa in towards the near post, but Flynn clears it away. And we are up to second as it stands, as Tranmere must be losing. So just into the last 5 minutes of the first half, and Ilunga's injured and he's going to have to go off. That's bad news. We're really short on left backs. I'll have to bring Jonathan Page on. He's not a great left back. More preferred to be in the centre, but I've got him in for his versatility. The fact that he can play left or right as well. What's his preferred? Left back, full back, defend. So change that to defend. Confirm that. I'm going to leave Leroy Lita on at the moment because he's got 82% fitness, so I don't think it's a bad injury. I think it might just be a bruised hip or something like that, or a stubbed toe. So like that. So it's not going to affect his performance too much. So leave him on. I might bring him off for McDonald later on in the game. So half time, and it is 1-0 to the Sky Blues at half time, and I will take this result all day long. Musa's corner, Wood heading home, brilliant goal to give us the lead. So Lita switching off there. Let's hope he can go out there and get a goal for us and put us even further in front. As Wood has the ball now. Edgingwaley, Ward-Prowse, back to Murphy at the start of this second half. Nice little bit of possession. That's a meaningless highlight, but 2 minutes in and McGoldrick suffered an injury and he has to go off. And it's a good thing I didn't sub him. It's a good thing I didn't sub Lita at half time, because otherwise I would now be left in the position where I wouldn't have another sub left after this. So McGoldrick's going to come off for Barton, put Barton into the centre of midfield. Let's play central midfield, defend. We'll have him as a supporting attacking playmaker. So, right, that should do. So let's hope that we can stay injury free for the rest of the second half, which will mean I can give Leroy Lita a little bit of a break towards the end. In the last 20 minutes I'll be probably bringing Cody McDonald on at some point. Not many highlights in this game, as Sheffield United make a couple of substitutions. And last 20 minutes and still nothing, and we're at it again. It's Musa, Barton, Jennings to Page, and Page into the box. Rocher heads it away. It's flicked on there. Wood, and Wood wins it off Cresswell. It's Clark, Gavilan to Ward-Prowse. Ward-Prowse to Gavilan. Back to Clark. Clark in deep, and Musa's there, and Musa heads it. He's hit the post, but he was offside. It's a free kick to Sheffield United. Musa offside there. I thought he'd almost given us a 2-0 lead. There's another substitution by Sheffield United, and they're trying to go for it now. We're into the last 10 almost. I'm going to make a change and bring Leroy Lita off, just so that he doesn't pick up an injury, because that's the last thing I need to do. Right now he's the goal scoring striker. Let's just hope that the injury to McGoldrick and Ilunga isn't too serious, because that would be a real bad blow right now. Right, so that's fine. Don't know whether to change the tactics or not, and whether to go a bit more defensive and try and make sure that we hold on. So we're into the last 10 minutes, and there's the last change for us. Got no more swaps to make, but I am going to put my defensive instructions on to make sure that we hold out and play on the counter. This would be a big win against the top of the table. If we could pick up all 3 points here. There's 3 minutes of added time just to hold on for now, and it's surely all over now. It is. We've got all 3 points today against Sheffield United. A fantastic win, and what a 3 points that is. That's brilliant. Really pleased with that. Richard Wood's goal in the first half after just over 20 minutes has given us the win. But they only hit the target once today. We're up to third now, level on points with Tranmere, who drew today, but we're 4 points off Sheffield United, so we've got a real chance to go for that league. But next up is the JPT. That's what we've got to concentrate on now. So that is the end of the episode, guys. Great way to end it with a 1-0 win to put us on a 4-match winning run now in the league. Just to show you, that's the league table now with us in third. 3 teams on 57 points, very close in that playoff places. I'll also show you the player stats, because Leroy Lita is creeping up the goal scoring table, as you would have noticed with his goals in January. Wood is up there, and Edgingwale, we've got 2 centre backs in the top 3 for the average ratings, but Leroy Lita's on 14 now, and he is closing up on those top players. So the next episode will be, I'll bring you, because February's quite a short month, I'll recap those games and we'll live com. I'm going to split this into 2 because April's too short a month to do, so I'll come back and recap on there. I may recap and then live com the JPT final, so I'm not sure yet, but you'll see in the next episode anyway. JPT is scheduled to be final, if I get there, is on April the 7th. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll do February, I'll do up to Shrewsbury, I'll live com the Preston game, and then I will do a live com of the JPT final if we get there. So thanks a lot, guys, for tuning in today. Please leave a comment, a like and a subscribe if you haven't already. It's greatly appreciated, and for now,